since they've now actually officially revealed them. There's now class of items called mythics, which basically are items you can only buy one of per game. It's sort of like an Ornn upgrade in that only one item can be upgraded unless you're Ornn. In this case, we don't actually have... God, that would be terrifying if Ornn's power changed to can buy any number of mythic items. That would be hilarious and probably broken. But yeah. And these mythic items, in general, provide a powerful buff to the rest of the items you buy as well. So it's not only is this item stronger than any other item you can buy, but it will also power up all the rest of the items that you complete with a passive bonus. So in the marksman area, they've got a mobility item, which gives them an extra dash, which is crazy, of course. As if flash wasn't enough. They're giving marksmen more mobility, and it also, the passive grants all their legendary items plus their movement speed. So any other item you finish, any other completed to the end item will give 3% extra movement speed, which means an extra, I guess, 12% movement speed. Because I somehow don't think your upgraded boots count. But that's an extra... I mean, that's just crazy all on its own, is that this is an item that gives a dash. And by the end of the game, will also grant an extra 12% movement speed. Which will stack with stuff like static... Or is it static shift? Does that give movement speed? I know it used to. But, God, this is just so strong. And this is far stronger. 3 missiles at the lowest health enemy near your destination, prioritizing champions. Which... what? So at level 18, each missile will do 300 plus 30% bonus AD. And it's an execute. Huh? Is it 300 damage plus 30% total for the 3 missiles combined? Or each missile? Because if it's each missile, the fuck? That's actually an insane amount of damage if it's for each missile, especially if it's also an execute. I mean, yeah, think of it this way. Increasing level targets by up to 50% against targets at 30% health. So, if an enemy's at 30% health, and you dash on them using this ability, that kills them every time, right? Unless they're a tank. Because the damage will simply be too much if you are at 30% of your health to survive. Forced and playing interest. Fishing. Ah, yes, I know the moment. That was a good moment, that game. So continuing. Kraken Slayer, so the anti-tank option. Every third attack is enhanced, dealing an additional 80 to 120 plus 30% bonus attack damage, true damage. So, basically what Riot decided to do was take Vayne's W, her passive, whatever it is, put a balanced version of it into an item. That's what Riot did. Because you notice one thing that this does that Vayne's doesn't do? Percent max life true damage. It does flat true damage. This could actually be balanced. I kind of wish that they replaced Vayne's W with this. It's still going to be really fucking strong, because 120 true damage every third attack, plus 30%, which towards the end of the game you can expect at least over 300 AD, so that's an extra 100. So it means every third attack will be doing 220 true damage. And that is if they don't have Rage Blade. If they have Rage Blade, it'll be every 2 attacks doing that. Disgusting. Grants all other legendary items plus 10% attack speed. This is also disgusting. So by the end of the game, this will add another 40% attack speed on top. Yuck. And then there's the Survive Burst, which... Again, so here are 2 things that makes AD carries balanced. 1, they're squishy. It means that, yes, this crazy champion that does the most sustained damage of anyone on their team is easy to kill because they're squishy. And mobility. Most AD carries are low mobility, which means if you get on top of them, they die. And Riot has decided, you know what? We don't like champions to have weaknesses unless they're Urgot or Zac. So they're doing this, and they're doing this. So yes, AD carries are now going to have options to enhance their kits to be more mobile or more tanky or maybe both. We don't even know yet. So yes. When taking damage, it will reduce you below 30% health, gain a 150 to 650 shield for 3 seconds. In addition, gain 20% lifesteal for 8 seconds. Giant middle finger to Urgot, everybody. Humongous middle finger. Because if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong on this. I actually don't know because Riot has not made this particularly clear, and I most of the time don't need to worry about it, but if I'm not mistaken, the moment your health would go below 30%, it stops at 30%. The shield absorbs whatever leftover damage from that hit would have been taken, and then the shield is up. So you now need to get through that shield to get the health below 30%. If that's the case, this actually is legitimately a fuck you to Urgot. Because Urgot will not be able to kill an AD carry by getting them to 25% health because they won't be able to. 650 health shield is massive. For an AD carry at the end game, that is a quarter of his health. So basically, for that last 30%, it's doubling it. That's just not okay. And grants all other legendary items plus 8 armor, plus 8 magic resist. So that's an extra 32 armor and magic resist at the end of the game. Again, why? Why do this? Can we please have some significant nasty trade-offs for going for this durability-minded item? Because I guess, yeah, you lose true damage, but whatever. You live long enough, you don't need true damage. You'll do more damage than anyone anyways. Like this, I feel like, oddly enough, this is the one that nobody's going to buy. Except maybe Vayne. But honestly, when you look at the other two options, these two options are fucking broken. Both of them. If you're playing a low mobility carry like Ashe or Varus or any of those guys, this thing would be such a no-brainer. You're telling me I get a short cooldown dash on demand? I say short cooldown. It's a 90-second cooldown. It's still relatively short. Or, if you're playing one of those mobile AD carries, the ones that don't need extra mobility, then you just go for this, and you can't die. Or, God, even worse than this, Kog'Maw Lulu. What the fuck are you going to do to be able to kill a Kog'Maw who buys this with a Lulu and Shen to keep him alive? How the fuck do you kill him? I don't know. Alright, Tank Mythics. Sunfire Aegis. Ramping damage. Deal 20 to 40 magic damage per second to nearby enemies. So Sunfire Aegis, this looks like a combination between Sunfire Cape and Aegis of the Immortal. Do magic damage plus 1% bonus health. Magic damage per second to nearby enemies. Increased by 50% against minions and monsters. Damaging enemy champions or epic monsters with this effect adds a stack, increasing subsequent immolate damage by 12% for 5 seconds, stacked 6 times. Ooh. So, that's interesting. And max stacks your basic explode around you, burning over enemies for your immolate damage for 3 seconds. Huh. That sounds significant. That sounds really significant. So eventually it'll be a 72% bonus to the immolate. The immolate will eventually be doing 40 plus 1% of your bonus health. 72% on top of that. It's meaningful. It's like 70 damage per second plus 1.7%, 1.72% of your bonus health and damage. It's meaningful, and every auto attack basically triggering a burn. I don't know if it's enough, but I kind of worry that an item like this in the hands of Ornn, or God forbid, like I say Ornn, but then you, like the traditional true tanks, like Malphite and Maokai. Well, Maokai is actually a better example. Like Maokai and Scion are champions that are just so hard to kill. They can fight and fight and fight, and you just can't kill them. Having this ramping damage on them would make them really fearsome. And I think this is even more pronounced on champions like Zac. Because Zac is already a champion that can go Conquerors topside. Any tank going Conquerors who gets this item, I mean, good God. The Conqueror enhances this. Both the item and Conqueror synergize off of hitting the enemy champion over an extended period of time. Huh. This is very curious. This could be really good. I actually like this one. And ability haste, I assume, is CDR. But I don't know. I assume it could be, yeah, 15 ability haste and 5 ability haste. Is there any ability haste in the items up here? No. So there's no ability haste up here and no CDR up here. And thank you, Cyprian Calistri, for the subscription. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Ability haste, ability haste, ability haste. So good. This is nice. Something else I find very frustrating currently about League is that it's too easy for pretty much every kind of character in the game to get to max CDR. Way too easy. So it's nice to see that none of the AD carry items actually have that. It means you get a choice. Either you rely on your auto attacks or you rely on your abilities. You don't get to choose both. I like that. I hope that is a universal thing. Like CDR should be a rare thing to see on AD carry items. Not on mages. Mages, I feel like they should have essentially somewhere in between tanks and AD carries when it comes to their itemization choices. Somewhere in between, but tailored to them. And grants all other legend items plus 5 ability haste. So that's another interesting point. So if this is CDR, then this is adding an extra 20 ability haste, which means 35 ability haste. If it is CDR, that's 35% CDR off of one item. Yeah, that's nice. It feels like, though, it puts you in a pretty obnoxious situation of needing to overcap your CDR. Because if you buy this one item, you're not at max. You're not at cap yet. And you need to buy at least one item that reduce CDR by 5%. There's no items that do that. Right now, all items give either 10% or 20%. So one way or the other, you're going to have to burn ability haste. Whatever that means. Unless you go for the rune that I go for. Transcendence. Frostfire Gauntlet. Slows enemies. So Sunfire Aegis. Frostfire Gauntlet. So this is upgraded Frozen Fist. You go 20 to 40. Magic damage per second. Nearby enemies increased by 50. So this has the same exact fucking immolate that the Sunfire Cape has. Only that it doesn't have the damage over time component. It just has the damage component. Create a frost field. This those enemies are 30% for 1.5 seconds. So yes, basically, this is combining Frozen Fist with Sunfire Cape. This is combining Sunfire Cape with Conqueror? I know Conqueror's not an item, but that's the combination there, clearly. And this one grants all other legendary plus 1 health and plus 7.5% size. Oh, this item was clearly made for Cho. This clearly made for Cho. It wasn't made for Zac, because Zac obviously doesn't need no goddamn slow. He's got plenty. Plenty of CC. This was clearly made for Cho to make him even bigger. Or Malphite? Malphite doesn't need that. So this will grant... Oh, that's crazy. So the item itself gives 350 health, and then it will eventually provide an extra 400 health. 750 health off one item. It's a ton. Although Warmogs provides almost that much. All right. So basically, ready to go. The is gonna be a mini version of set. Yeah, that's right. You're talking about this, but yeah, basically, only without the true damage. But yeah. Berserker Suit initiation. So grant 75% movement moving towards enemy or enemy turrets for 4 seconds. Shockwave is emitted to nearby enemy champions for 7 seconds. So this is Righteous Glory. So this is Righteous Glory plus Sunfire Cape. It literally is just combining 2 items into one. Why? Okay, that's actually really heavy. Okay, so this is dumb. When you look up here, each of these 3 things gives some unique effect. Meaning that when you buy the item, you're getting something you cannot get anywhere else. Except, like this thing, dash in target direction and do damage, is like Proto Belt, sure, but there is no AP version of Proto Belt. This is unique. This is unique. Again, there's no item in the game that does this. It's completely fucking unique. And then you look here. This isn't unique per se. There definitely are several lifeline items in the game. And in fact, this does appear, in fact, okay, so I do take that back, but these 2 are completely unique. And although this isn't unique, it is very powerful for 80 carries. And I kind of wonder, this probably means that they're getting rid of Phantom Dancer. That's my guess. In which case there will literally be, if that's the case, if they do get rid of Phantom Dancer, then there will be no other 80 item that gives this effect, which would still make it unique. And you come down here and you look at the tank stuff. This thing is unique. There's nothing in the game currently that does what this is going to do for tanks. And then you look at these 2 things. It's literally combining 2 items into one. If I wanted to, I could buy Sunfire Cape, Frozen Fist, and Righteous Glory, and in essence, I would get these 2 items. That's essentially what I would get. I'd get these 2 items without the Mythic passive. Why? Why is that the 80 carry stuff gets all this unique, cool, interesting stuff that makes them, that gives them stuff they don't have access to already? And you look at the tank stuff, we already have access to all this crap. We already have access to all this crap. There's nothing new or original down here. And this, I mean, ramping damage on a tank. In team fights, tanks are all about the upfront CC and burst, and that's it. That is the tank's goal. Ramping damage is not what tanks are known for. And this is not something that will help tanks. Because as a fight goes on, a tank can expect to get kited. Once you are getting kited, your ramping damage is meaningless. Like, this is fantastic for the laning phase. For the same exact reason that I think Conqueror's fantastic on Zac for the laning phase. Because it makes sense in the laning phase. It gives him something unique. But it doesn't really help in team fights. It can, obviously, do that, but not often. And I feel like that'll be the same with the Sunfire Aegis. Like, this isn't something you buy for team fights. This is something you buy when you want to split push. And you think you can beat your lane opponent and you're a tank. Those are circumstances that don't make sense. And then these 2 are literally just combinations of items we already have access to. I don't get it. Why is Riot so hell-bent on making tanks boring class? Boring and weak. Ugh. Need a good new item for my old main Veigar. Well, we'll see. We'll see what they are here. But yeah, so far, very disappointed. 80 carries are getting 3 unique playstyle options to them. Tanks are getting a somewhat unique playstyle and 2 combinations of items. Grants all 5% tenacity and slow resist. So, this is also really fucking shitty right here. Because tenacity and slow resistance are multiplicative, which means the more you get of it, the less effective it is. Which is interesting, because health is flat. The more you get of it, the better it is. Or the more you get of it, it's a linear thing. So the more you get of it, the better. It'll stack off your armor and your magic resist, but the point is, it doesn't ever fall off. Health is always good. 5 ability haste, you'll hit a cap. But the point is, it's useful until you hit that cap. And it's 100% useful. The more, and in fact, ability haste, you can argue, the more of it you get, the better. As in, getting 5% CDR when you've got none is less effective than getting 5% CDR when you already have 30%. That's what I'm saying. So CDR actually gets better the more of it you get. Health is always useful, and tenacity and slow resist falls off. What's made especially worse is this will give you 40% tenacity and slow resist at, 20% tenacity and slow resist at the end, which is less than Merc Treads. Let's see. 30% tenacity. An epic item will give less tenacity than fucking boots. And if you were to get the boots, the extra 20% tenacity that you would get from that mythic item would be multiplicative, meaning you don't even get 20% added. You get less. It'd probably be something like 12%. This is so frustrating. I can't believe it. How does Riot drop the ball every time? These are easy layups, and yet they still manage to somehow throw the basketball into the wrong hoop. All 5 players are on the opposite side of the court. Basket's right there. You somehow manage to throw the ball out of bounds without even making it. I don't get it. I do not fucking get it. Also, this is really sad and pathetic. 4% per 1,000 bonus health. Most tanks will end the game if they're lucky around 4,000 health. Some tanks can definitely push that, but that means at very most you'll be getting maybe 2,000, but most tanks will get 2,000 bonus health by the end of the game, and that's it. And that's at the end of the game, 6 items. You will not have that much health otherwise. That means you're getting plus 8% slow. Adding on to a 30% slow, that is literally inconsequential. So continuing, 80 Assassin Mythics. Team fight multi-kill. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, this is really fucking frustrating. So, it really does feel like Riot is trying to look at the archetypes in League of Legends, look at the things that balance them, and then rip it apart. When we looked above, the things that make AD carries in general balanced is that they are squishy and low mobility. That's in general what makes them balanced. Some AD carries tend to not be one of those things. Some of it, like Ezreal, is highly mobile. We all know that. It's stupid, but whatever. And some of them can be relatively durable, like Senna. Senna's actually quite hard to take down. And Riot created 2 mythic items to make those 2 weaknesses not weaknesses anymore. So that you can now have AD carries that are both not squishy and highly mobile. Fuck. And now we look at this. Assassins. One of the key things that makes Assassins fair champions is that they tend to be entirely front-loaded. And that, in general, an Assassin in team fights will kill 1 target, and then that's it. They're done. They can't really do anything else. They've blown their kit, and now they're going to use the rest. Whatever's left of their kit is for escaping, not killing anymore. So what Assassins are going to be doing is killing 1 target fast and then getting out. Their weaknesses being extended fights, tanks, and splash damage. Like those are the 3 weaknesses that balance them out. And And just looking at this, just reading this, I'm not even looking at the rest of this. I'll look at the rest of this in a second. Just reading this, you guys, once again, are trying to get rid of one of the balancing factors that make these champions not 100% pure cancer. You're trying to take something that makes them unique, and you're trying to get rid of it to make them stronger. Why? So, attacking enemy champion deals 50 to 150. Plus 30%. Additional physical damage and slows them by 99% for 0.25 seconds. When a champion you have damaged within the last 3 seconds is killed, reset this cooldown and gain... Alright, I think I quit. I don't think I can ever follow Riot's logic ever again. They're creating an item that gives a resettable invisibility?
Oh my god.
And the worst part about this is that this actually fucks up two of the things that makes Assassins balanced. One, that Assassins that go in and expend their whole kit going in don't always have a way out. Now they do. Now they get a 1.5 second stealth to just easily get them in and out, no problem. Every assassin in the game will get this. And then in team fights, just imagine how fucked up it would be to have an enemy Akali or Talon burst somebody down and then they're gone. 1.5 seconds, they're just out of here. Or fuck it, this item on a goddamn AD carry. Can you imagine this on Vayne? Like, she doesn't have enough stealth already. This item is going to break so many champions. I cannot believe it. How can Riot fail so miserably at this game? Stealth is one of the most toxic mechanics Riot has ever unveiled, and they're putting it in an item now. Resettable invisibility. I don't even think about the champions that have resettable dashes in their kit. Because there are multiple champions that do. They will break this item in ways you can't imagine. And that's something else that's really frustrating. When you look at it, the tank items are only good for tanks. None of these items will be good on a champion that is not a tank. You look at the AD carry items, assassins can use some of these items and use them well. Like this would be great on an assassin. Can use it just fine. Marksman Mythic, assassins can use that. And then you look down here, this is something an AD carry can use. Absolutely. There are several that I imagine would love this item. Fuck, even Caitlyn would love this item. Slows for 99% for 0.25 seconds. She claps you with a headshot, and now you can't get away from her. At that point, she's basically got you kited. Holy shit. Ability haste is like CDR for legendaries only, so I assume ability haste works like CDR in that it's capped, meaning that you can't get, say, 40% CDR, and then ability haste would go on top of that. Could you? I need more information on that. Make them make a global heal item next. We haven't made it there yet, but I'm sure there is. I'm sure they gave a Soraka ultimate on an item for supports, because supports need more. So, dueling. So, another thing. So, Riot seriously is basically saying, pick a weakness you don't like about your champion, buy this item, you get rid of it. This item solves two different weaknesses depending upon the weakness you're trying to deal with. This will either get rid of the weakness of you kill a champion then die, because you'll be able to kill a champion and then leave, or this will create a situation where you will easily strike multi-kills because you will kill a champion. You will then use that 1.5 second stealth to reposition. During that time, the enemy team cannot react or fight back, and then you continue. You want to think of something really scary? This item on Yi. This item on Yi. He will literally kill an entire team on his own, and there will be nothing you could do to stop it, because once he kills the first target, he's stealthed for 1.5 seconds. And because of the movement speed inherent in his R, how fucked is this? God, I'm sure there's at least a dozen things right now that this item breaks beyond all comprehension. I cannot fucking imagine it. And I have a curious lack of imagination when it comes to League. So I can only imagine what people will do once they figure out the depths and depravity of just how fucked a resettable 1.5 second stealth is. So continuing. Dueling. Omnivamp? Omnivamp? I'm getting more and more depressed the more I read. Right, smoking their usual strong whatever it is. Yes. Hitting any champion with 2 separate attacks or abilities in 1.5 seconds deals bonus physical damage of 16 per what? 16% of their maximum health and granting 30% movement speed and a shield for 6 second cooldown. Are you fucking kidding me? Two autos or 2 abilities to shred 16% of a target's max health gave you 30% movement speed and a massive fucking shield. 150 plus 80% bonus attack damage. And you can do it every 6 seconds. Oh, keep in mind that for ranged champions is weaker. But yes, I do love the fact that Riot put in the ability for ranged champions to use this item as well. How fucking annoying is it going to be when you walk into lane, top lane, the first item somebody buys is Eclipse. They're a ranged champion. Who knows what it is? Maybe it's Kennen, maybe it's Jace. Who fucking knows? 2 auto attacks, and you lose 16% of your max health. They get 30% movement speed and 100 and a shield. What happens when you're playing against a Vayne top lane who rushes this item first, or a Lucian top lane who rushes this item first? What do you do? What the fuck do you do at that point? You're dead. Your lane is dead. If you're playing any champion that does not already hard counter those champions, anytime they auto you twice, you need to run for your fucking life or you're dead. I have a strong feeling I'm quitting next season. I have a strong feeling that a month into next season, I'm just straight up quitting. I cannot imagine League will be a better experience with the implementation of these items. These items are a travesty. And as per fucking usual, tanks get left in the dust. Can somebody tell me this Moonstrike right here? Is there a single one of these tank mythics that even remotely compares to it? Is there any one of these tank mythics that is even even remotely close to the power level of Moonstrike. No, none of these. All three of these items are essentially slightly powered up versions of stuff we already have. This fucking Moonstrike is broken beyond all recognition. If this comes out live as it currently is, it will go through, I shit you not, 3 nerfs. One the day it comes out, one a week after it comes out, and then another one a month later once the pros start playing, and this is literally the only item they're buying. I know I said that last year, but they did revert the Zach R change, which kept me playing a bit longer. I don't think I'm going to be able to survive this. This is just beyond me. This is absolutely fucking beyond me. Overwatch or Dota 3 next season? Dota 3, is that a thing? Also, Audrey, could you turn on the AC? Thank you. Because I didn't know earlier, sorry. It's okay, bring Brownie upstairs with you. Exercise. Use him like a weight.
That's all yours. The left.
What? Oh, the wine? You already took your second half?
Yeah.
Bullshit!
I didn't notice that.
So yeah, it's funny that they say this is 80 Assassin Mythics because this item you can literally buy on almost any champion and make it useful. And this is especially true with almost every ranged top laner in the game can get this item and use it well. Every single one of them. Yes, using Brownie as a dumbbell. That's exactly his best purpose. A 7.5 pound dumbbell. Jax is more of a barbell. He's a whopping 13 pounds. He weighs twice as much as Brownie. That dog is pathetically small. You know that?
Because that's fat. Jack is so fat.
Don't call him fat, Audrey, please. Look at him. He's so insulted.
He's fat.
Oh my god, Audrey's so mean. Alright, so continuing. Assassination. Like, assassins aren't already good enough at assassinating, but at least this is, like, you look at both of these, this gets rid of something that makes assassins weak or gives assassins counterplay. This same thing. Gets rid of something that makes assassins weak or gives assassins counterplay. Both of these are items that get rid of counterplay. At least here. Assassination. That at least is thematic with assassins. Let's see what it actually does now. Dash through target enemy, dealing 100 to 200 physical damage and reducing armor by 30% for 3 seconds. They gave an item a Yasuo Q or E. So assassins now can have a Yasuo E. This is actually substantial. Doing 500-600 MS in your promo has got to be some of the worst things. Yeah, it sounds pretty shitty there, 467 LPM. Sorry about that. Grants all and the legendary 6 lethality. So something else that I want to mention. When you look up here, under the tank items, you have tenacity and slow resistance, which is something that is inherently weak on this item and inherently weak in the game because it has poor rate of return. The more you invest in it, the worse the guest. And here, grants all others having 5 ability haste, it's capped. You look at the assassin items. Well, they also have this one, which is capped. But then you look at this. 5% armor pen and 6 lethality. Both of these are things that get stronger the more of it you get. You look at the tank stuff. No, they don't. Tanks have actually nothing in the tank itemization that is stronger the more of it you get. Everything under the tank item line is weaker the more of it you get. Can I link this? It's surrender20.net. It was here. I'll just link it so you can look at it in a much faster pace than I'm doing. Because I'm breaking this all down. So this is the least broken of the assassin items. This one's actually interesting because it requires I I say interesting. This one's also really fucked up when you think of champions like Zed. Because what Zed will do is, Zed will pop his R on you. Then he will use this ability's dash. And then he'll hit you with everything else in his kit. He will get the extra armor shred for literally his entire kit while using a gap closer that delays its damage, so it will also get the 30% armor shred. This item, this Prowler's Claw, is going to break certain assassins too. Every one of these items will break different champions. Like literally hardcore break them in ways that the champions will not be fun to play against or just be completely, and you won't have anything you can do against them unless you have somebody who's equally fucked up in their brokenness. No tank items are even remotely as strong as any of these assassin items. All three of these assassin items are head and shoulders, leaps and bounds ahead of any of the tank mythics. And although I don't think these AD carry mythics are the most broken things just all on their own, they make AD carries less vulnerable in multiple ways. That is just not fair. God, this is crazy. Leandri's Anguish, anti-tank. So Leandri's upgrade. Spells goes on run for 60, target maximum health, 4 seconds, shooting the max of 5% per second for 4 seconds, up to 25%. Yuck. Yuck. They say anti-tank, but this is just anti-life. This will kill anybody really fast. And remember, I told you how, like, it's frustrating. Tenacity, slow resist, and even armor and magic resist have diminishing returns. The more of it you guess, the less effective it is. And when you look at armor pen, magic pen, lethality, they don't get weaker the more of them you get. They get stronger. The more you get, the stronger the effect is. And here we now have something which gives them up to 25% magic resist shred, which is even stronger than something like Void Staff because it affects your whole team. Yeah. And yes, this is definitely, I mean, this is an anti-life thing, but it is truly anti-tank as well. 4% of targets maximum health, and you shred 25% of their MR. If you have Void Staff as well, you shred off another 40% or 35% of their magic resist. What's the point of having MR at that point? It doesn't help, does it? You get hit with a single ability. By the time the next ability hits you, you basically don't have any magic resist. And also, this is also pretty fucked up because, and this is something else, like, this is an inherent weakness to AP style champions in general. They tend to be a hybrid between assassins and AD carries. Meaning that they have burst, but not as much burst as an assassin. And they have sustained damage, but not as much sustained damage as an AD carry. Which in general puts them in this position where they are weak to tanks. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Mages are good at dealing with are good at dealing with AD carries and are great in team fights. That's fine. Why create a situation where one of their inherent weaknesses is no longer a weakness? Well, continuing. Luden's Tempest. Burst damage. Damaging an enemy with an ability deals 100 plus 15% ability power, additional magic damage to your target, and 3 nearby enemies gaining 3 seconds. Wait. 8-second cooldown. Okay. So is there's... Oh, and granting you 30% movement speed. That's the difference. Okay. So this literally is just a very minor buff to Luden's Echo. Grants all legendary items 5 magic pen. Again, the more of this you get, the better it is. Everfrost, deal 100 plus certain magic. Okay, so this is slows enemies. On Earth, magic cones for 1.5 seconds means the center of the cone are rooted instead. What? Okay, so Riot added stealth on an item, which is something that never, ever, ever should have been done. And now here we are with Riot adding hard CC to an item. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This is not okay. It's absolutely not okay. Imagine a champion like Twisted Fate getting this item. He already has a point and click stun. He can then use the Everfrost after landing the point and click stun to hit you with a 1.5 second root. Vhagar, another good point. He drops the cage. Now your mobility is completely limited. You're stuck in that cage. And then he uses the Everfrost. You're rooted anyways. That's right, you did everything right and you're rooted anyways. Oh my god. There really is no explanation for Riot's decision making. There really isn't. Hard CC on a fucking item. Wow. Just wow. And this also happens to give a shitload of AP, so you mentioned Vhagar. This item will give 120 AP by the end. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm off. It will give 140? 140 AP? Yeah, Vhagar would want that. Depends by the range of it. It's for mages, so you know the range is going to be significant. I can tell you this, it will definitely be longer than Urgot E range. AP Mythics, non-mana. Non-mana Mythics? That's hilarious that there's an entire class of champions that they need to make a non-mana Mythic line for because there are that many champions without mana. Here comes Zac items. Ah, yes, indeed. Hextech Rocket Belt, so I can assume this is an upgraded version of Proto Belt. Dashing and unleashing an arc of rockets to deal 250 to 350. Wow. Magic damage and 75% main chamber. Whoa.
Give you two options.
For what?
You remember Chinese place?
Mm-hmm.
Have popcorn chicken and fries?
Mm-hmm. Or
Something like okay.
I would like popcorn chicken and fries, but I wouldn't want it for a few more hours. Because I need to eat it fresh. I wouldn't be able to eat it fresh. Like, order in 2 hours, I'd absolutely want that.
Wow.
2 hours is fine. You can wait 2 hours. Oh, dude, we ate like 3 hours ago. You're fine.
Okay. Drinks.
Yes, and we've got alcohol too.
So you mean not today, better?
What'd you say, Audrey?
Not have that today.
I mean, we had poke yesterday. I don't want poke again.
That's why I said popcorn chicken.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want popcorn chicken and fries, but later. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of champions that'd be able to abuse the shit out of this. I can think of a good one right here in Rumble. Rumble would abuse the fucking hell out of this item. So first of all, the fact that it does 250 to 350 is really high. That is a very high base damage for an active item. Then the fact that it gives 75% movement speed towards champions for 1 second. There's a lot of champions that would love this. And in fact, I kind of also feel like this would be an item that'd be good on a lot of tanks. Like, I could definitely see, like, Galio wanting this. This would be absolutely incredible on Galio.
sweet potato fries?
I'd prefer the regular ones more, but sweet potato's healthier, so if you want it, sure. Then sweet potato's fine. And it's a continuing Magic Vamp. They're bringing Magic Vamp back in the game, huh? Well, it's Omni Vamp, but the points, I guess, still the same. For each second in champion combat, deal 3% bonus damage, while this effect is max, convert 100% of the bonus damage into true damage. You'll get 15% of your damage added as true damage. I'm trying to see who would break this. I mean, Amumu isn't a bad candidate, it's just Amumu sucks. And he's not a monolith gem, he actually likes mana. But in Amumu's case, his passive already gives him essentially 10% bonus true damage on all magic damage him and any ally does nearby. This would add an extra 15%, which would be a lot. 25% bonus true damage for all the damage you do as a Amumu sounds like a ton. You'll love the next one, Mordekaiser. Oh, God! Oh, God, Mordekaiser. No! Oh, God, this item will break Mord. Oh, my God, that item will absolutely break Mordekaiser. God damn it, you're right. Oh. I'm dying. Something my wife likes to say a lot, but I really feel like it after reading. Huh? I'm dying. You say that a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
What do you mean you didn't notice that? That's like one of your things. It's a saying for you. Maybe I'm not saying it the way you say it. But...
You want to share a drink?
Sure.
Real icy.
Yes, but again, Audrey, in 2 hours.
I know. I'll
But yeah,
you know,
sure.
in 2 hours.
Sure.
Something like that.
It looks delicious.
But it's heavy, so I'm thinking.
Sure. Potentially Timo. It would be good on Timo, sure. But Timo's not good, so why would you want it?
Black sugar, or caramel, or chocolate?
Black sugar, caramel, or chocolate? Not chocolate. Black sugar or caramel? I kind of want to try the black sugar. That sounds interesting.
That's just okay.
And yes, Mord's passive will be completely disgusting.
Boba.
Will this item work with Frozen Heart? Oh God, you're right. Would it? Would it indeed? I'm curious on that one.
Boba, egg pudding, or soft grass jelly. Choose 2.
Sounds like we want the boba and the grass and the pudding, yeah. And Jack, seriously, you're not getting shit. Why do you keep begging me for it? Alright, Night Harvester. Team fight multi-kill. The enemy champion deals 150 magic damage in range to 25 movement for 1.5 seconds. Huh? Huh? What? Ah, per champion. So you can use it on one champion and then has a 60-second cooldown for that champion. And then you can use it on another champion. Wow. Okay, yeah, this seems pretty broken. I was about to say, these two look really similar. No, this one is so much better. It's just damaging an enemy champion. At this point, the game isn't broken. It's been split into hundreds of pieces, spread over the edges of a pentagram in the most unholy ritual imaginable. Yeah. I'm sure there's a dozen champions in this game that would break this item completely. pretty much any of, like, okay, here's a great champion to just showcase how fucked up this item would be. Katarina. Katarina, Akali, all those hybrid fucked up carries, yeah, they're gonna break this item. Like, this is something that pisses me off. I'm not excited about any of the tank items. I can see, if I played non-mana AP champs, if I played AP mythics, if I played assassins or AD carries, I would be so excited for at least one of the items available. For the tank items, none. Those items are not exciting at all. They are boring as shit. They don't do anything interesting. They don't do anything that makes me want them. It's really frustrating how bad Riot is at game design. How is it that an entire class of champions, you guys can't come up with one original interesting effect that makes me want to play them? Every single other category we've read so far, there's been at least two things that I'd be like, wow, if I played X, Y, or Z champion, I'd be salivating right now. On the tank items, I don't think I could think of a single champion that would look at that and say, I'm broken now. Because none of them are that good. Can Urgot use any of these items? There have been several items that Urgot could use that would look well, but we haven't hit the AD fighter mythics yet, which I'm pretty sure is where Urgot's going to find something really nice. But based on the ones that we've seen so far, nothing in the AD mythics, nothing in the tank mythics, except maybe Berserker suit. But you don't want this. The MLA passive is just not good on Urgot, so no, you don't want anything there. The AD assassin mythics, let me see. No. This one's just fucking broken beyond all belief. It's not great on Urgot, though. Actually, this would be pretty good on Urgot. I take that back. This one would actually be really good on Urgot. You land a Q and an auto and you get a bonus 30% movement speed. 16% of their max health removed. A shield. Unfortunately, Urgot's range, so you'd only be able to use it every 12 seconds. And it would be much less effective. But this would be pretty strong on Urgot. No. The AP stuff is no and no. Alright, let's look at the AD fighter mythics. But yeah, that one is actually really good for Urgot, I'd say. Trinity Force. What? They're changing Triforce from a basic item into a legendary item. The funny part is it's always been a legendary item. It's just only certain champions can abuse it. And by certain champions, I mean most champions can abuse it. Trinity Force gives you everything, so yeah. Your attacks grant you 25 movement speed and 5% base attack damage. Base attack damage for 3 seconds. Base attack damage increase stacks up to 6 times. Hold on a second. Burst damage? Triforce is supposed to be the burst damage option? Then why on earth does it have this stacking AD option? 30% of your base AD. Although that is true, it is your base AD. It's not your... Like, it means that this thing has some pretty hard limits to its effectiveness. Spellblade. If you mean your next attack deals 10% physical damage, it's all legend 15% attack speed. At least Ezreal's finally going to have to pick between Triforce and the other interesting mythics available. This feels like a powered-up version of Triforce. It looks like this is basically the same, but this is the powered-up part. I wonder if that means that Phage has changed. It makes me feel like this just must be the new passive for Phage. I mean, otherwise, it's just everything we've come to know already from Triforce. Only now it doesn't give mana. Huh. I guess they must have changed how Sheen works, too. Gore Drinker dueling. 45, 84. So let's see if Gore Drinker is anywhere near as good as where is that one? We'll look at it later. Let's see if Gore Drinker is any good. So deal 100% physical damage to enemies in a circle. Recover 20%. Oh, God damn it! God fucking damn it! We need to see what the range of this ability is, but fuck. So first of all, it's a bunch of damage, which is fine. But this, recover 20% total attack damage, health, plus 12% missing health for each champion hit. 15-second cooldown reduced by ability haste? Are you kidding me? This is an ability that when your CDR is maxed, and keep in mind this gives 15 ability haste and grants other legendaries ability haste. It means that by the end, it will have an 8-second cooldown. Every 8 seconds, you can use this ability to heal yourself for 20% total attack damage and 12% missing health for every champion hit. It's a fucking Silas Kingmaker. No. Actually, that's not correct. It's a Darius Q that is ranged and will always heal you. There is no inside part of the blade where you can step into and they won't get the heal, or they'll take less damage. What the fuck is wrong with Riot? This is insane. This is absolutely insane. %1 increased damage for every 5% of your missing health. And speaking of shit that Urgot could probably use, this could definitely be it. This would just keep him alive forever in fights. And the ability to use it every 8 seconds. Yeah, fights can definitely go long enough for Urgot to use this twice. Which is insane as well. I'm sure this won't make Alawi immortal at all. Alawi. Oh my god. Though this is also literally true of every bruiser or fighter top lane that has healing built into their kit. Darius, yeah, it's going to be a lot harder to kill Darius now. Fiora, yep, it's going to be real hard to kill her now. Oh god, I can't imagine this item ever being balanced. Riot literally took the most cancerous part of Darius's kit, made it more powerful, and put it in an item. Fucking crazy. Stride Breaker slows enemies. Nimble. Dealing physical energy near 20. Guarantees you 20 movement speed on it for 2 seconds, increasing to 60 if it kills the unit. So that's the Phage passive. So it looks like what we saw up here is not the Phage passive. It's some weirdo amalgamation or change of the Phage passive. Swift Slash. Launch a short distance, deal 110 attack damage. Wow, there's actually... They get 4 mythics. Physical damage to enemies in a circle, slowing them by 60%, decaying over 2 seconds. So all the legend has 3% movement speed. So it's another mobility option. Launch a short distance, deal that. Enemies in a circle. So basically, this is a combo Yasuo E plus Q that slows everyone it hits. That can be used every 20 seconds. Depends on the range, but this could be really broken. Divine Devour. Anti-tank, because fighters and bruisers already don't shit on tanks, huh? See, this is something stupid. ostensibly, right now, tanks are strongest at some point between level 1 and 9, and then they fall off hard against whatever bruiser they're up against, no matter what. Pick any bruiser. That bruiser will eventually outscale the tank in a 1v1. And now we have an anti-tank mythic to make that easier, huh? After using an ability, your next attack deals bonus equal to 6% of your max health. Huh? How's this anti-tank? After using an ability, your next attack deals bonus physical damage to 6% of your max health. It's a champion. Heal for 60% of the damage amount. Whoa. 150% base attack damage, minimum damage. How is this anti-tank? This is just fuck you for gameplay, is what this is. So every 1.5 seconds, he gets an auto attack buffing proc that does bonus damage equal to their max health and also healing them for 60% of the damage amount. This could be a good item on Urgot, by the way. Because Urgot tends to be pretty beefy. And being able to heal extra damage after using an ability. And keep in mind, Urgot's W, Spellblade, hits for the full value. It's not an on-hit proc, so you get the full value out of it. I don't get how this is anti-tank. This just seems like a pure duelist item. It doesn't appear to be anti-tank. I don't know why they call it that. And in fact, it is a tank item. Grants all other legendary items 100 health. It's weird. Can't wait for Atrox to use this in his ult with 100% healing. Oh, that's right. They did just buff that, didn't they? God. There is so much unbelievable garbage here. I'm actually surprised at how much I hate this. I was expecting to be unhappy. I was not expecting to be enraged. My mistake. I should have known. Everything Riot does is designed to piss me off specifically because I have a brain. I guess they try to cater towards the idiots. Because there's so much broken shit here. There's so much. Shirelia's Battle Song. Granting your has 40% of game movement for 4 seconds and 600% bonus managed game on the next 3 attacks or ability hits it. Grants you and nearby allies. It gives this to the allies too. If your allies also get the 60 to 100 bonus magic damage on the next 3 attacks or abilities against champions, this is beyond broken. Honestly, brainless company, right? Absolutely brainless company. You guys remember the meta where every support in the game, and quite a few tanks, and hell, other people, were getting the, I cannot remember the name of that item, but the one that's basically an active shield for your team. And it was something that basically only the pros were abusing because the pros could abuse it. In solo queue, people are terrible at using it. It's the same reason why that tank item that temporarily doubles your health but reduces your damage is also something you don't see much in solo queue, but you see a lot on the pros. If this comes out live, as it currently is stated, I bet we're going to be seeing multiple 2 to 3 support comps where all of them get this item. Sivir ult on a stick. It's much stronger than Sivir ult. Sivir ult doesn't give attack speed for her whole team. It gives her attack speed, but it doesn't give it to her whole team. I think. Right? Locked in there in Solaria, that's the one. What? Yes, there's the active that gives a shield to everybody. So it looks like the... Okay, so just to guess here, I haven't read anything. I'm guessing what Riot did was create 3 Enchanter Mythics that specifically are each of them incredibly broken, so you have to pick one of them to break. So this one's broken in that it gives your team movement speed and a ridiculous amount of damage. 4 players, I mean, okay, so we're looking at this from a max level. Level 18, Sona, using the Shirelia's Battle Song, will give her team an extra 2,000 damage. 2,000! Yes, everybody on your team needs to get off 3 attacks or ability hits. But that's still 2,000 damage. If 3 players on a team got this item and you chained it properly, you can kill a team with this. His ability hates the new CD art looks that way. Assume they want to completely break the item system and see how much it'll change the meta instead of their usual softly approach. Well, it's been a long time since Riot properly dealt with the item situation in the game. I'm happy they're doing it, but so far I'm very unhappy with the results because it looks like all the same mistakes they've done before are being done again, but amplified. So yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. Let's look at the next one. Grants nearby allies 260, 430 shield to king over 2.5 seconds, 90-second cooldown. So yeah. So it looks like you have to choose. Either you're giving your team movement speed and damage, or you're giving them a shitload of health. And then this one, via Vital Stream. When affecting champions with attacks or abilities in combat, heal the most damage nearby when affecting champions with attacks or abilities. So I assume this means offensive and defensive. Heal the most damage nearby ally for 30 to 60 health, 2-second cooldown. Each second spent in combat champs increases the healing effect by 25%. No, just no. 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 Why? Why does Riot do this? Why? Why do they fucking do this? You thought Sona was annoying before. You thought Soraka was annoying before. Welcome. Welcome to the new normal. Or Yumi. Oh, God, Yumi. Every 2 seconds. And it gets doubled when you're in combat for 4 seconds. You found your item for Vhagar. Good for you. Looking at it from an angle, if everything's broken, nothing's broken. Sure, but then we have the issue here. I pointed out this issue quite clearly. When you look at all of these mythics, every class of mythic has some outrageous stuff in there, but the tank mythics are all lame. They're all weak. They all feel like something you would never buy. I feel like if I'm playing a tank, I'm buying one of the other mythics because fuck those tank mythics, they're awful. So no, not everything's broken. Riot continued their design strategy of keep tanks really fucking weak. What have you missed? Nothing. We're still going over these items. And yes, I am the Dave. There's a good chance that if everything's broken, some things are going to be much more broken than others. And we saw several things in here that literally made me gasp when I saw it. So I have a feeling we're going to be seeing several things truly breaking the game to the point where Riot's going to be like, you know what? We can't do this. We're undoing all of our item changes. We're actually backtracking. We're gonna leave this for next year because we obviously fucked up hard here. It looks like they fucked up really hard. You're very annoyed they didn't touch Mercurial Scimitar at all. Well, continuing. The Collector. 3,000 gold, 45 AD, 20 crit, 18 lethality. If you deal damage, it will leave an enemy below 5% health. Kill them. Kills green. I'm not happy with this. Because this is something Urgot can't take advantage of. You execute them at 25% health, they'll never be at 5%. I'm kidding, there'll definitely be points, but this... I don't know why. This somehow feels so annoying. I know it's not much. It's a 5% execute. I don't know why. This pisses me off. I have a feeling there's going to be cases where I'm going to be like, yes, I won the fight, only to die because the collector kicked in. Navori Quick Blade, Nimble Strikes. Your critical attacks reduce your non-ultimate ability equivalent. Did Riot really forget their little foray into having items reduce cooldown specifically that broke Jax and so many other champions last season? Jax, Renekton, I think there were a handful of other champions that were completely broken by that fucking item. And here they are, giving it to AD carries. Not happy. Rhythm and taking ability damage grants you 6 movement speed and 4 mattresses for 5 seconds. Thanks for 1 stack per unique ability. So they're bringing Force of Nature back, only this isn't the Force of Nature that we remember. Force of Nature is an item that used to exist back when League originally came out. It was just a shitload of healing, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was just an absurd amount of healing. And health. I assume it was just health and healing, but I really don't remember. Wow. That's one hell of a tank item right there. That is one, oh my god. This is going to be a bread and butter item for Mundo. I mean, that's 30 movement speed. And of course, a shitload of magic resist. Damn, that is a Mundo item. I don't want to see the rest. Yeah. They did Bruiser's Mercurial. I'll see it soon enough. Yeah, I'm with you, Carl. I kind of have this feeling that these items are going to be so fucking broken that literally first person to get the item just wins the lane. Just imagine somebody rushing, getting that mythic before the enemy lane opponent they're up against. That champion is basically locked out of the lane until they get 1-2. These mythics are so outlandishly strong, or at least some of them are, that if you ever fall behind against your lane opponent, the snowball is going to be so much stronger now. I think that Riot literally is basically doing the worst thing they can do at almost every avenue available to them. Like, unbelievable. Season 11 is League of Legends 2. Honestly, tanks needed a good MR item that isn't Spirit. I agree with you. And I think this is fantastic. And it's unique. Like, that's something I really like about this. Not only is the item good, but it's unique. It's something you don't see in any other item. Awesome. Great. This is what I'm talking about when I say tank itemization. Let's see if maybe they do more. You deal 300% additional damage to shields. Oh my god, Riot, listen to me. Oh my god, Riot listened! They made an anti-shield item! Oh, yes! Oh, that is exciting! They actually made an anti-shield item. Awesome. I'm very happy to see that. Though it certainly makes one of those Enchanter mythics seem a lot weaker now, doesn't it? It's for Assassins. Oh, yeah, double lethality. Urgot can use this, though. You're right. It's clearly made for Assassins, but Urgot can use this in either way. This is something that just having it in the game will make these champions with obnoxious, powerful shields a lot less reliable. And it creates an option to counter them, so I'm happy to see it. Horizon Focus. 1,000. Jesus, 100 ability power. Damage given ability at over 850 range or more and reveals the target and increases your damage dealt by. What? Oh my god! Wow, that's strong. Wow, that is really strong. There are about a dozen champions I can think of that will immediately love to get this item. Kog'Maw, Xerath, Lux. Quite a few champions would love it, and the fact that it gives 100 AP, which is a really large amount, also very good. And this could also be especially good on champions like Morgana as well. She lands the binding, now all of her damage is amped by 15%. We might see a resurgence of Morgana mid after this. Cosmic Drive, spell. It's dealing damage within grants 10, move speed for 4 seconds. Okay. So and it gives 30 ability haste. Is ability haste capped at 40? Because if it is, what's the point of having an item that gives 30? Or I guess we need to see how ability haste works. Demonic Embrace, 3,000 ability by 400 health. Zakana Gaze. Dealing ability damage to team causing them to take 2% of their maximum health. So Leandri's. Wait, what? That's not Leandri's. That's better. Although I guess it doesn't do bonus damage to them when they're slowed or CC'd, so I guess it's less effective than the current version of Leandri's, but it gives you tanky stats. This could be a really good item on Zac. Because the 20 armor and magic resist. This actually could be really good on Zac. 400 health, 80 ability power. Yeah, it's not bad. It might be a good Mordekaiser item. Well, this definitely is a good Mordekaiser item. Leandri's is a broken Mordekaiser item already. Like, basically, every champion that broke Leandri's Torment that wasn't a mage will want this item, because it is very good. So LDS grudge. Your damage ability is slowed by 30% for 1 second. So this is Rylai's. Only... Wait, what? It's an 80 version of Rylai's? Why? Oh, never mind. This is Frozen Mallet. It's an 80 version of Frozen Mallet. No, it's not an 80 version of Frozen Mallet. Frozen Mallet's on auto attacks. This literally is just an 80 Rylai's. Why did they do this? Both of those. They removed Frozen Mallet. Good. Fuck Frozen Mallet. Stupid item. Silver Weave leg plates. 3,000. 35, 80. 200 health. 35 magic resist. While card connection, gain 30% tenacity and slow resist. Yeah, there's the QSS for you. You were mentioning that. That is a Bruiser QSS. Wow. At least when I'm forced to get QSS on Urgot, I'll actually have something I want to build it into, so that's nice, I guess. Chempunk Chainsword. 4580, 200 health, 15 ability haste. Dealing physical damage applies 40% grievous wounds to enemy champions for 2 seconds. Darkest ability for fang. Oh. Oh. So they made a grievous wounds item for both AD and AP. And I really like this. This is something that makes me very happy. Oh, they're different. If the target's below 50% health, this effect is increased to 60% grievous wounds. Awesome. This is actually going to be something I'm going to want to get on Urgot for a lot of matchups, and this is a good item. 60% grievous wounds is enough to make a Vlad scared, I think. Chemtech Fumigator, and this one is immobilizing champs, applies grievous wounds instead. I was going to say, this seems like a great item for Zach, but 100% mana regen. Can you guys change this to health, please? Staff of the Flowing Water, ability power, heal and shield power, of course. Healing shield grants you both 15% movement and 20 to 40 ability power for 3 seconds. Ugh. Ugh. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Supports are going to be so much stronger in the next season. Those support items are insane. RIP CC tanks. Dota style League of Legends. I wonder what you mean by that. Ancient Runestone. Level 13 required to purchase. Anyone can store up to 3 purchased control wards. With this 20 cells transform this item and take 6 of the wardstone. It's from Ancient Runestone. 25 abilities. Someone can store up to 3 purchased control wards. Increase your stealth ward and control ward cap by 1. When you store up to 3 purchased controllers, increase your stealth ward. Okay. All right, so Riot has completely lost their minds. They have completely fucking lost their minds. You guys may look at this and not think that much of it, but I remember what League was like when it was possible to buy unlimited wards. Well, not unlimited, but basically you could buy a stack. Like you could buy a stack of control wards and you could buy a stack of regular wards. And this looks like they want to bring it back. They want to bring back the meta of literally everybody buying a stack of wards. The one thing I can say, though, is that this does cost 1,000 gold and requires level 13 to purchase. 1,000 gold to be able to hold 3 control wards is extremely expensive. I don't understand how the upgrade works, though. Oh, that's right. If you have placed 20 stealth wards from the time, it's wards. So, I wonder if this starts counting the moment you buy the item. I hope it does. Because if that's the case, you're spending... Okay. In that case, this could be balanced, because spending 1,000 gold just to be able to then hold 3 control wards, that's very expensive. You will definitely see the pros doing it, but that is very expensive. I don't know what to think about this one. 1,000 gold, I think, is a little bit too expensive to see any change in solo queue. The question of whether we will see this basically dominate the pro meta. Because if you guys were around back when this was all possible, you would see literally a support holding a stack of 5 wards and 3 control wards, and every player in the game also holding either a stack of regular wards or a stack of control wards. Everyone. 40 ability haste and 10% movement speed is really nice, but this is expensive. This might actually be okay. In fact, this might be too weak. We'll see. I hope it's too weak. God, I really hope it's too weak. I happen to like when I could buy a Sightstone Scion, really. At the time, quite frequent, my support was not going to buy one. It's too much to learn. They release things slowly. Well, something else to keep in mind is that for the first month that this comes out, in fact, there's going to be a preseason. You've got several weeks to figure this stuff out. So it's not that bad. I'm not going to criticize Riot for this. I'm going to criticize Riot for not doing it earlier, but I'm not going to criticize Riot for this. I'll criticize Riot for the bad choices they make. 80 attack damage from the crit, gain additional 8% critical strike damage per 20% critical strike chance. So, if I'm not mistaken, they've reduced crit damage to 175%, or is it 150? I think it was 175. This will bring you an extra 40% critical strike damage. Excuse me, 40% critical strike damage. Gains his Rage Blade. Attacks at 40 damage on hit for 20% critical strike. You can no longer critically strike. Wait, what? Uh-huh? Attacks deal 40 magic damage on hit for 20% critical strike chance, but can no longer critically strike. Wow, that's really confusing. That's really confusing. So it means at a certain point, if you were to get up to 100% critical strike chance, your auto attacks would be doing 200 magic damage on hit, and every third attack would do a bonus 200 damage. I feel like this is broken, but I can't really tell. It's very expensive for the stats. Gotta presume a lot of these won't hit live in the state. You hope so. There are about half of the items I've read, literally, my jaw is dropping from how insane it sounds. So yeah, I hope it doesn't release the way it did. Or Dominix. 20 bonus single damage, games greater maximum health. I don't really know what changed. Essence Reaver. Using ability, next attack deals bonus damage. Or restores 3% of your maximum on. Okay, so they turned it to a Spellblade. It used to be, Essence Reaver used to be an on-hit effect, meaning every time you autoed, you got its effect. Phantom Dancer no longer has the shield. I was right. So that legendary AD Mythic that gives a shield, I said, wow, this would be really stupid if Phantom Dancer still had a shield, and they got rid of the shield for Phantom Dancer, so now you have to pick. Gargoyle Stoneplate. Active models gain 100 plus 100% bonus health shield. Decays over 2.5 seconds. Well, this is a lot better. This is a lot better. This is an item I can use now. The issue that I had with the current version of Stoneplate is that it reduces your damage, which is so contradictory to fun in solo queue. You don't buy Gargoyle Stoneplate if you want to carry. You buy Gargoyle Stoneplate if you're doing a coordinated team fight and you need it for that one moment where you will literally absorb 2,000 damage. And then you got to time it right and you need to coordinate with your team. This is so much better. Although I have to say, 100% bonus health. Tanks towards the end of the game can easily have 2,000 bonus health or more. This will give you a 2,000 health shield. It'll decay over 2.5 seconds, but you're basically unkillable for those 2.5 seconds. Increase your bonus armor magic resist by 3% for 6 seconds. When a champion deals damage to you, stacks up to 5 times 1 per enemy. Ooh. This is kind of cool. Altogether, I have to say I like the changes to Gargoyle Stoneplate. Again, something to keep in mind. Armor and magic resistance has diminishing returns. The more you get, the less effective it is. So the fact that it goes up by 3% does not mean that your defensive stats will be 3% better. They will not. They'll be less. Always. But this is still pretty nice. I like the Gargoyle Stoneplate changes. This is actually an item I can use now, so that's cool. Spirit Visibility, you receive by 20% and shielding receive by 15%. Wait, what? Did it always give shielding power? Huh. I don't think it did. Immobilizing an enemy. So Abyssal Mask. I remember this item. Abyssal Mask used to give health and mana, and had the passive that meant that every time you leveled up? No, it was every time you spent mana or health, you gained mana or health. Immobilizing enemy chamber reduces their armor magic resistance by 25% for 4 seconds. Ooh! Ooh! That's really nice. A good tank item. And original, I like it. I like what they did with this. Frozen Heart. Reduce the attack speed by enemies by 15%. Rock Slide. Reduce incoming damage from attacks by up to 7 per 1,000 total health, capped at 40% of the attack's damage. Whoa. It doesn't give any health, which is kind of annoying. But that's insane. Scion and Cho'Gath are going to be so fucking strong with the new Frozen Heart. It will not be difficult. Okay, it will take time. But it will not be difficult to reach a point where Cho can literally hit the cap. Game would need to go on long enough, but 40% of attack damage getting reduced before armor. Because I assume that's what this means. I'm pretty sure this reduction will happen before armor is considered. And then armor would be considered. That would be so good. The new tank items look really good. Not the keystone ones. Those ones all suck. But the regular ones look a lot better. We didn't see all of this. Random Zoman. Briefly slow. Nearby enemies reduce their attack damage by 10%. Critical strike damage by 20% for 4 seconds. Oh? I don't think it used to do this. In fact, it didn't do any of this. If I'm not mistaken, Randuin's right now only reduces their movement speed. Or maybe it does reduce their damage. I don't remember, but this is really good. And it's a much better active. I hope Righteous Glory hasn't changed. Okay, 1 point total. Oh, bonus. So the bonus 40. Bonus physical damage to other enemies in a cone on hit. So no longer has an active. That's nice. And this also doesn't have an active. Good. I think that's a good thing. The active on those items made them a lot harder to use. Physical Vamp also applies to true damage you deal. Oh my god. Also applies to true damage you deal. You couldn't create a limiting factor on champs like Fiora or Vayne. No, you have to give them an item. Well, I don't think Vayne can buy this item, but Fiora can. She'll abuse the fuck out of this. Also applies to true damage you deal. Or Camille. That would be fun. Yeah, basically, this change says, hey, Camille and Fiora, we know you love this item. Please, buy it first every game. God, that's insane. Just think of it this way. It's not unusual for Fiora, once she has a Triforce and one other item, 2 items. Once she has 2 items, for the second part of her Q to do over 1,000 true damage to you. If Physical Vamp also applies to the true damage she deals, that's way too much healing. Not to mention an absurd amount of damage to go with it. Fiora has arrived. Camille has arrived. Black Cleaver. Dealing with... Okay, so that hasn't changed. Squish. Attacks and abilities against enemies you fully shredded deal bonus physical damage equal to 5% of their missing health. Whoa. Whoa. my god. I think Urgot's very happy with the new Black Cleaver. If you're dealing or taking damage against an enemy chamber, restore 3% total health over 6 seconds. Stacks and refreshes per unique champion up to 5 turns. Damn! Oh, that's really strong. And then, of course, it has the shield. So 200 shield plus 75% total health shield per stack of rage for 8 seconds. Wait. Okay. Yeah, Steric's Gauge is still incredibly strong. Interestingly enough, it doesn't say melee only. Is Steric's Gauge going to become an Urgot item again? Oh my god. I think Urgot's going to get Steric's Gauge again. Holy shit. Berserker suits the new version of Righteous Glory. Oh no. Oh, please don't tell me there's no Righteous Glory now. Oh, you're going to piss me off if that's true. And yes, this does appear to be no longer melee restricted. I mean, there's an 80 carry version of this already, so you know what? I think Riot finally got it into their heads that maybe this won't be the most broken thing in the world to allow Urgot to use. Death Stance. Let's see how this changed. So 80 armor ability. Assertions of damage taken is dealt for 3 seconds instead. 15% for ranged. Yay, Urgot. Champion takedowns grant you 30% moves. Wait, defy. 30% moves in 2 seconds. Cleanse, ignore pain's remaining damage, and heal you for 20% total health over the duration. No! No! That stance isn't good on Urgot anymore! Oh man! I am so disappointed. It was the Omnivamp that made it good for Urgot. That's sad. I'm very sad about this. As much as Death Stance has been neutered for Urgot's hands, I'm still very sad that this change has come through. But there are other options for Omnivamp. I'll need to look them up later to see if there's one that's actually good for Urgot. Or I guess we could just go with... I mean, hold on a second. Okay, wait. Both Titanic Hydra and Ravenous Hydra don't say melee only. I'm starting to wonder if maybe they still are, and maybe Steric's Gauge still is too. Not happy. Alright, so Wits End. Cursed your blades, 1580 bonus magic. Grants you 20 movement speed for 2 seconds. I don't understand why being cursed makes you faster. Blade of the Rune King. 10%, 8% for range with the target's current health on hit. Is that less or more? Does that, somebody have Death Stance here? You were gonna build it. God damn it, the game didn't go on long enough. Whatever. Taking champion 3 times steals 25% movement speed for 2 seconds. So instead of the active, it now has this 3 auto move speed buff, which is going to be exciting for champions like Vayne, because they'd much rather have the extra speed than to slow you down. Kills the magic resist from Death Stance. That sucks, yeah. Guess we got to move on to Bloodthirster now. We got to see if Bloodthirster's been changed. Attacking. Okay, so Zeke's Convergence. Does gain an accomplice 60-second cool. Convergence. When you immobilize an enemy for the next 4 seconds, your accomplice attacks and skills deal 25 to 50 plus 1.25% total health. Bonus management with that enemy once per attack or spell per enemy. I have no idea how strong that is. Knight's Vow. It is worthy. Who is worthy? While your worthy ally is nearby, redirect 15% of damage they take to you, and if they have less than 50% health, gain 35% movement speed while moving towards them. But one night's vow, damage redirection stops if you have less than 30% health. Oh, that's new. And good. Kind of be annoying if you keep getting drained while you're already near death. Mikhail's Blessing, bonus heal and shield power. Jesus, 30%. I'm so happy there's a shield shredding item now. Quicksilver gift from all card control debuffs from another champion. Heal them for 200 to 200. Interesting. Well, that hasn't changed much. Mortal Reminder. Ah, and here it is. So, we saw the Mortal Reminder a couple of weeks ago in that little video. It looked broken beyond all belief that it would literally destroy a handful of champions who cannot cope with the amount of healing it would basically sap you from. Let's see how it's changed. So, first things first. AD, crit strength, and move speed. Dealing applies 40% grievous wounds to enemy champions for 2 seconds, dealing 3 consecutive attacks to enemy champion. Enhances effect to 60% grievous wounds against them until the effect ends. Wow. If only Urgot could use crit, this would definitely be a very strong Urgot item to pick up, because you will get those 3 autos off every time. Thornmail, when struck by an attack. Wait, crit. Hold on. Where is it? Cursed. And cursed. Ooh! Ooh! Immobilizing enemy champions also applies 60% grievous wounds for 2 seconds. Ooh! Ooh! Oh! Right, finally took my hatred of healing and put it into item forms I can use. Wow. That's good for both Urgot and Zach. That's exciting. I swear, champions like Mundo, Vlad, and hell Zach are going to suffer so much with the amount of 60% grievous wounds in the game now. Relinomicon, dealing damage applies for enemy champs 2 seconds. If the enemy's below 50 with this effect, increase to 60%. There are so many grievous wounds effects in the game now. I think there are at least 4, if not 5, grievous wounds effects in the game, and each of them have an ability or have a way to make it 60%. That's awesome. And each of them is different, which I will give Riot props for that. That's great. Because it means that each one serves a different purpose and can be used by different champions in different ways. That's awesome. I like that. They might have gone a little overboard, though, so we'll see. Mirror Mana transforms from Mana Muna, 35 AD, 750 Mana, and 3% max attack damage. Single target abilities attacks and champions do 5% max Mana bonus physical damage. Seraph's Embrace. Empyrean, increase your maximum 5%, plus 2.5 per ability power. Evolved legendary items. The items below are evolved into some of the mythics. Remove legendary items. Adaptive Helm's gone. Funerals and Holy Grail gone. Frozen Mallet gone. GOP gone. Though changed. Gunblade gone. Changed. Twin Shadows jungle items. Ooh. Maintained legendary items. Those items. Make up more wine. Jesus, this is a hell of a read. A lot of bad, but also some good in there. What the hell makes you think you're getting food now, Jax? Gotcha.
Cat gun?
Yes, I will use my cat gun to assault my viewers. I have a cat gun. Pew, 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 pew. Are you guys dead yet? Change up and change the stats they offer, but their effects are the same, so you'll play around them pretty much the same way you do now, or just the same for people who control F for specific legendaries. So, you can use one use up support items, which reduce support gold investment in their item to a one-time starter purchase. Jungles will pick up one or two of 2 starter items, which, after smiting a few times, will disappear from the room and permanently grant its effects as a passive and upgrade smite to chilling. Oh!
Good.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think I almost
So 350 gold and 10% Omnivamp versus monsters. Or 350 gold, 10% Omnivamp, so it's the same thing. So this says Tooth and Nail, burns them. Smiting 5 times in the grants a smiting a challenging smite. Grant 60 bonus experience. Against chilling smite.
Bat.
They're identical items, just one turns to blue smite, one turns to red smite. Very interesting. Very interesting. Tier is now a starter item. So lets you start stacking while you build a mythic and complete Seraphs or Mirror Mod a second. There's a trade-off, though it's weaker for lane with the scaling payoff. Huh. I think this is a very good idea, by the way. Making tier a starter item. Because I have to say, like, one of the most frustrating things is when you're playing one of these tier champions, starting with a mana item, farming in lane, and then just going back and teleporting in with the monomune of with the tier the first moment you can. They're giving this game the dodo approach, though. What do you mean by that? And yes, I agree with you. They should focus on fixing the stuff that's already there instead of literally breaking the game and reinventing it. Which currently, like, these changes feel like they're breaking the game and reinventing it. God, I cannot stop scratching my nose. I said I can't. Bloodthirster didn't get touched, huh? I didn't read that, but yeah, I believe you, man. That sucks. Righteous Glory is like one of my staple items on Urgot, so seeing it change to a legendary that I won't necessarily want sucks. Because I don't want the Balmy Cinder passive on it. I really don't. I'd much rather have other stats. Believe it or not, offers Mage's Grievous for cheaper than the full Morello. She no longer has mana on it or a mana crystal component. This opens up a lot more users of the item than built into. I mentioned this earlier. It seemed weird that the Sheen upgraded items didn't seem to require mana. Bronzing restores health if you have no mana on kill. Opening it up to a few more AP champs. Interesting. That's actually really interesting. So now it either restores health, it restores mana if you have mana, or to restore health if you don't. That's actually really smart. It's a very smart change. A few rune adjustments are not doing any big changes. Transition CDR to haste means we need to change a few. Okay, critical strike brings some more power into the early curve. So yeah, it is going down to 175% and 20%, so it requires more scaling. Alright, let's be a crit champion nerf. We've shifted the power from crit damage into other stats. Yeah, we already read all that. Mid lane cannons are worth 10 less gold for the first 14 minutes. Mid lane cannons gain 30% additional attack speed when attacking towers. Huh? Huh? Other than other pieces of PB, we're testing a very simple version of mid lane agency reduction. Small resource reduction, stronger push threat to punish roaming excessive. Huh. So that's why they're doing this. I do find it really interesting that they're focusing on the mid lane when it's the jungle that typically decides games. For the reasons that they're trying to nerf the mid lane for right now. So that's odd. But yeah, I like that. That's good. I mean, 10 less gold for the first 14 minutes is literally nothing. What's that, 100 gold over 14 minutes? That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. So I don't understand why they're going through that. I do like the mid lane cannons getting 30% additional attack speed when attacking towers. I like that a lot. Because that will actually do what they're saying, which is punish from roaming excessive. So that's great. Your AP tournament likes to do wrong ring change. Except the jungler still gets less gold and XP than the laners. Which is not true if you gank well. You gank well, you'll get more golden experience than the laners, which is the thing that pisses me off. They tend to decide games for that. Well, that's pretty simple. So jungle, doing very light changes. That deflates me right there, doing very light changes when it is the jungle that needs the most changes. Increase padding the reason when making camp resistance more uniform. Expose some hidden mechanics visually to help newer players learn the jungle. Slight reduction to power of kiting camps. Okay. See, this is something that I like, but I don't like this word. I don't like this word a lot. Because right now, like, one of the most frustrating parts about playing League of Legends is the enemy jungler literally ganking you at level 2 or level 3, and you're going, wait a minute, I just hit level 2, or I just hit level 3. Why is the jungler here ganking me and at full health? And typically, in most of those cases, it's because champions like Graves or Kindred or whatever manage to push through their entire, like, to quickly clear to hit level 2 or level 3 and take no damage in the process because of the fucking power of kiting. So let's see what they've done. So all camps have 20 armor resist and magic resist. Health adjusted accordingly and a middle ground of durability. Not 0. Sometimes true damage. Those making value. Camps within you guys because they've been visualized. Scuttle. A shielded for 6 minutes. 60 armor and magic resist. On CC, loses that shield. No longer heals and grants mana to the killer. Aw. No longer heals and grants mana to the killer? Oh man, that was like one of my favorite things to do as Urgot. Shove the lane, go grab the scuttle, and come out of it with more health and mana afterwards. It felt so good doing that. Gromp. First 3 attacks no longer faster attack speed and deal 50% increase damage. Gromp now heals, grants mana to its killer. Oh, come on! They moved the scuttle heal to the Gromp. Gromp's damage adjusted a bit since it deals magic of scaling into too well compared to other camps. Cannot stop scratching my nose. Making small Krugs more worth the long time to clear. Large Krug, medium Krug XP is down. Medium Krug gold is down. Small Krug gold is up? Okay, that's really confusing. You're telling me the small Krugs are worth nearly double the gold of the medium Krugs? And honestly, as an Urgot player, the small Krugs take the least amount of time to clear. And if you're playing as a tank, same thing. Tanks have great AoE damage, so they love killing the whole camp. Hand moves will increase to reduce the power of kite. Okay. 455, 350, 455, 180, 275. Red is 275. Okay. Medium Krug, mini Krug. Happy to see this. I'd like them to boost it even further. I'd like them to actually almost, maybe double might be a bit much, but I'd love it if they did more. Make it so that if you want to kite the jungle camps, you need to CC them. That'd be great. The champions will change into PB today for preseason. So these are the crit changes. Oh my god. So these are the crit champion changes. Okay. Everything's subject to change. Passives. All mythic items have Ornn upgrades. Only mythic items can be upgraded. Each upgrade is worth 1,000 golden stats. Jesus. That makes sense, though. Though, wait a minute. All mythic items have Ornn upgrade. Only mythic items can be upgraded. Each upgrade is worth roughly 1,000 golden stats, so Ornn can no longer get 3 upgrades himself. Because it used to be possible for Ornn to buy 3 items and upgrade them because there were 3 tank items that he could do. I think it was Frozen Fist, Sunfire, and Mask. You could get all 3 of those, and Ornn would love it, and he gets the bonus stats for each of them. But from the sounds of it, it looks like he can't. I would actually consider playing Ornn if he had no limit on mythic items. Oh, I see. No longer starts with Hex score in his inventory and cannot purchase upgrades. Victor gains an evolution point when he completes a mythic or legendary tier item. Each evolution point upgrades a spell and grants 10% total AP permanently. 10% total AP? Wow. So by the end of the game, he will have at least 50% bonus total AP. I know that his Hex core provided some pretty ridiculous stats. Because otherwise, I mean, they wouldn't actually do anything about that. Wait, aftershock ratio 0.7, 0.6, lesser rate. What does this even mean? Huh? Oh, is the ability itself called aftershock? I mean, interesting. Hex core move and Victor's E buff. It's on. Make Victor strong as fuck late game champ. Looks like it, yeah. W currently does not work with the new item actives. Will be updated to work shortly before preseason ships. Now applies on. Her spiders apply on hit effects? Oh god. I remember when there were certain champions that could basically go fully on hit, and their minions would essentially kill people all on their own. I think Malzahar was one of the notable ones, where he would just go fully on hit, and those Voidlings would kill him really fast. I don't know if that's going to be true for Elise, because Elise has 6 abilities she needs to rotate through. And only half of them she has access to with the spiders. So going for an on-hit build would be a little weird on Elise. I don't know how that would work. Phasma applies on-hit effects to all enemies struck. E now applies on-hit effects. R split... Wait. E applies on-hit effects. Split damage into base plus AP ratio magic and AD plus attack speed ratio physical. That applies on-hit effects of 33% of all units struck. Jesus Christ! These Katarina changes sound crazy. Ooh. This reveal stack. Okay. Those fucking Katarina changes sound insane, and there's several items that really break Katarina. What the fuck? How's all this crap?